Welcome to the macro trading system. Today I'm going to walk you through the 3 indicators with the most commonly used strategy that will work on any time frame for any asset in any financial market, whether it's crypto, Forex, the stock market, you like trading the SPY, you like trading Bitcoin, we've got you covered. So let's dive in and show you how it works. Okay, let's dive right into the chart here. The first thing you're going to notice is my naked chart has white and gray candles, and that's intentional. I don't like to have any sort of bias or emotional response when I look at a chart, and sometimes red candles, when you see a big red candle, even though you're hoping for the price just to go up or down, because we're day traders, we're not investors here, it can still have that psychological effect. So I remove all of that and I look at the chart for really what it is. And so I try to keep it really clean, really simple. Helps us to define those trends and those swing trades, which is why we're all here, I think. So once you start with your naked chart, we can dive into the indicators, and I'm going to add them one by one, and I'll explain each one as we add them, and then all 3 together as they work in harmony are what's going to give you that confirmation and that confidence to be a consistently profitable trader. And that's really what the macro system is all about. They say that trading is 20% technicals, 80% mental, and I completely agree with that, if not 10%, 90%, because technicals are meant to give you an edge in the market, and there's a bunch of different technicals that can give you an edge. Where most traders fail is on the 90% mental part, is being consistently profitable. Anybody can come into a market and hit the red or green button and make 30% with 20x leverage or whatever, and that's not sustainable, obviously, because it's just pure gambling at that point and you're guessing. So what we want to do is give ourselves an edge, so we're using probabilities and not guessing, and that's what really defines us as a trader and not a gambler, I guess, in that aspect. And that's kind of the way I look at everything is you want to be consistently profitable. That's the name of the game. If you want to be a professional trader, you want to make money for a living from your trades, this is where you've got to start. You need to understand that this game is a mental game. I think a lot of people put way too much focus and emphasis on the technicals, thinking that they're going to be a silver bullet that's going to make them money, and they're not prepared for the emotional side of trading, which is really hectic and can be scary at times. And I've personally blown up more accounts than I care to admit, through my days in Forex and whatever. But I'm at the point in my life now where I strictly live off of trading, and I make 1 trade a day, maybe 4 or 5 a week, and the rest of the time I spend with family and actually enjoying my life and not stressing about charts. So that kind of all out of the way, let's go ahead and add our first indicator here and get started. Okay, let's look at adding our first indicator, which is going to be the macro whole ribbon. This is a momentum ribbon that's based off of EHMA, which is your exponential moving average, combined with whole strategy. This will help us define tops, bottoms, reversals, things of that nature. But again, alone, this is not going to be your silver bullet. This is one indicator of the 3 that's going to kind of paint the whole picture for us. This is really important to identify the swings and the momentum of the chart pattern. So, as we can see, when we get these big moves, it works in a similar fashion as your moving average, and that's kind of a good way to look at it. And then we're going to go ahead and add our second, which is the macro mountains. I call it that because it just looks like mountains, and I'm not the most clever person. Again, I'm not a marketing guru. I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I'm a software developer. I write code, and so that's kind of I don't want this to be a marketing company like some of the other guys out there. This is strictly a trading strategy to help you be consistently profitable without all the fancy frills. Even though the chart kind of looks cool with these colors and whatnot, it's really meant to paint a clear picture so you can be confident when you're trading. And so you can see the mountains here turn green before the ribbon did. That's a good indication that we have a momentum shift coming. Each one of these on their own is not going to give you that precise entry, but when you combine them together, you can trade with confidence again. So the third one I'm going to add here is my personal favorite, which is the STC. Let's get that on here. And the way the STC works is gives you oversold, overbought kind of areas here. So you have your no-go zone, which is your 25 to 75 level, and anything above or below is our green zone, and that's really what we're looking for. And so I'm going to show you how the three kind of work together here in tandem. We'll just start here. You can see that we're oversold and our STC has flipped green right here, before the mountains, before the ribbon. That gives us a indication that the trend could be shifting, even though we're not coming from a really big bearish trend here. But I'm looking at the 5-minute candle, and I'm going to show you something cool here in a little bit. But let's start with the 5-minute. And so we're waiting for the three, what I call the 777s. We want all three indicators to line up before we enter a trade. And so, you know, we have our first indication here. The STC is oversold. It has flipped green. Our mountains have flipped green here, and our ribbon has flipped green. So we're going to take this long trade. And this, you know, probably would have got on this candle here, and that would have been a nice 2.5% gain. I'm not going to go into take profits and stop losses in this video to try to keep it short, but in coming videos I'll show you how I define those, when to get out of the market, where to set your take profits, you know, if you want to do that. Some people just kind of ride the trends, but I prefer to kind of set a take profit based off of support and resistance and a couple other things. So we'll look at that here in a little bit, but you know, for the time being, let's take a look at just kind of how these trends go working with the three indicators. So you take your profit here, and now you're coming into a downtrend. You know, our ribbon turns red, our mountains turn red, and of course we're overbought here, and our STC has flipped red. So we're going to hop in this trade, you know, probably at this bottom candle here, if not here, but you know, just to be safe, we'll say it's the bottom candle. You would have pulled 1.25% out of that trade if you would have maxed it out. So not too bad, you know, two trades back to back in the span of, let's see, 7:20 to 12 o'clock. A little 4 hours or so. You would have got your two trades for the day, and you know, you can go spend the time with the family or do what you want. You got the green here. You are oversold. You have the ribbon that turns green, you have the mountain that turns green. This would have been, you know, most likely a break-even small loss. I'm not going to just show you all winners here. I'm not trying to fool you into thinking something works when it doesn't. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly. And you can make up your mind for yourself. But you know, if you've used other indicators, then you're well aware that they kind of show you not the whole picture, so to speak. Okay, before we wrap this video up, there's one more thing I want to go over, and it's the different time frames. This is a very cool feature that a lot of people overlook, but anybody that's ever bought buy sell indicators, signals, or tried to mess with indicators on different time frames, you notice how quickly they get messed up, because you know, to be honest, most people don't know what the numbers do, you know, in the settings of an indicator. There's some very basic ones that, you know, most of us probably know, but there's also some very technical ones that can be very confusing, and if you don't know what you're doing, then you know, you can really kind of mess the indicator up, and it's not going to be anywhere near accurate. Or you try to tailor it to what you're looking at on the chart, but then once you move the chart, things get out of whack again. So you know, a lot of effort went into making these indicators flexible across all time frames, without having to change the settings ever. So you know, it comes right out of the box with all the settings really kind of tailored to the charts, so you don't have to mess with them. One thing I like to do is run a split screen side by side. I have my 5-minute here, I have my 1 hour here, so I can see what the short-term range is doing, what the long-term range is doing. You know, if I want to catch a big move, then you know, maybe I'll go to the 2 hour. 2 hours just starting to turn green here. If this flips green, then that's just going to give you that much more confirmation on your 5-minute, right? Or if your 5-minute starts to turn red, then you know, that's a leading indicator for your 1 or 2 hour chart. So that's just, you know, something we'll go into further when we talk about strategy. But I think it's really important to notate, because you know, how much work it took to, you know, get the indicators to work like this, so you guys don't have to. You know, we don't want you out there guessing on the settings. We want you to have the confidence that, you know, the indicators are going to work as expected, and they're going to work like that right out of the box. So just, you know, something else to kind of pay attention to, but you know, a lot of effort went into that, and you know, it's all for that consistent profitability that we're pushing for here. So I appreciate you joining us here and kind of listening to me ramble on. We're going to be coming out with a lot more videos on training and strategy and the thought process behind a lot of things. So you know, hopefully you enjoyed it and you can be profitable off it, because you know, at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. So I hope you enjoy your day, your evening, and we'll see you on the other side.